You don't just pop sweets into your mouth. You're tasting stories of invention and transformation. From golden hazelnut orbs to clouds of spun sugar. Each candy hides a miniature factory. Picture wafers pressed into tiny cups. Pipes swirl hazelnut cream into each cup and place a whole nut at its center. Two halves embrace. Spinning cutters trim away excess and forge a perfect sphere. Conveyor belts carry the spheres into milk chocolate baths. Rolling them through chopped hazelnuts before sealing them under a second coat. These golden jewels aren't handmade art. $24 million are produced every day. The next time foil crackles beneath your fingers, remember the hidden hazelnut heart and the river of chocolate it once swam through. A dentist and a confectioner invented a contraption that melted sugar with electricity and hurled it through pinprick holes. Today's machines supersize that idea. A drum holds 3 pounds of sugar and spins more than 3,000 times per minute, while it reaches about 300 degrees. Sugar liquefies and is slung outward as hair-thin threads that cool and solidify the moment they hit the air. The smell of caramel fills the room as conveyors catch the delicate clouds. What looks like cotton is really melted sugar, obeying the laws of centrifugal force. In an ordinary mixer, fat and sugar whip together until pale and airy. Sugar crystals cut tiny channels into the fat, trapping bubbles that will later create crisp, delicate crumbs. Eggs and milk arrive, forming a silky emulsion that binds and aerates. Then comes the flour. Bakers fold it gently so gluten doesn't form, preserving tenderness. Behind every cookie's gentle crumble is a dance of ingredients and air. Not magic, but method. Deep in rainforests, workers score bark to harvest chicle, a creamy latex that drips like sap. Back at the plant, this latex is dried, ground, and melted in large kettles, while corn syrup, powdered sugar, flavors, and softeners are stirred in. The warm, sticky mass is kneaded by machines the size of small cars until it becomes smooth and rubbery. The flattened sheets are cooled and dusted with sugar before rotary blades score them into rectangles. Each chew holds a story of sap tapped from tropical trees and dough kneaded like bread. Vats mix gelatin with glucose syrup, sugar, and fruit essence. When this fragrant mixture thickens, it's pumped into starch-filled trays. The cornstarch acts like dry sand molds. Each impression in the starch bed corresponds to a future gummy bear or worm. The warm syrup settles and sets. Hours later, workers tip the trays and rain down sweets through a sieve, brushing off the powder. The candies are then polished with oil or coated with sour sugar and packaged. Gummy bears aren't poured into molds. They're carved from a bed of powder like fossil casts. In gleaming steel vats, sugar and corn syrup bubble into a clear, thick syrup. Gelatin dissolves in the heat. Compressed air is injected, whipping the syrup into a foam with millions of tiny bubbles. That marshmallow foam snakes through pipes and extruding dies to form ropes. Cornstarch dust coats the warm ropes so they won't stick together. Once cooled, blades slice them into squares, which tumble through a sugar shower before being weighed and packed. Marshmallows are architecture in sugar, a matrix of air cells stabilized by gelatin. Every sweet begins as something humble, nuts, sugar, sap, gelatin, and becomes delightful through hidden choreography. Factories aren't just machines, they are story machines. They whip, spin, mold, and puff raw materials into memories. So the next time you enjoy a candy bar or a handful of gummies, pause. Beneath that sweetness is a tale of invention, precision, and creative engineering.